All right, a very good morning to you. It is Friday, and many thanks for joining us for Sports Splash on ABS TV Friday edition, and that's the way to reincarnate the spirit of the weekend. I'm Mike Mwokedi. On the show, Solution AFC of Anambra State are set to take on First Bank AFC in match day 4 of the Nigeria National League. That's the second tier of Nigerian club football. We'll also be telling you that the Anambra State Football Association has set a date for the upcoming LFC election and board by elections. We'll talk about that on the show. FIFA charges, or rather changes AFCON players release date, and we've got news on tennis, athletics, basketball, and football news on the sports show Sports Splash on ABS TV. Let's begin the show from the glass house of football in Anambra State, and it is called the Anambra State Football Association. Well, let's tell you that the Anambra State Football Association has set December 17 and 18 dates for the local football council board by elections, and this was made known to the media in the aftermath of the meeting of the executive committee of the board of ANSFA held virtually, and that was on Wednesday, the 3rd of December 2025. And in a communique of the meeting of the executive committee of the Anambra State Football Association held virtually on Wednesday, 3rd December 2025, the executive committee of the Anambra State Football Association, ANSFA, met virtually on Wednesday, 3rd December 2025 to deliberate on important issues concerning football administration and upcoming local football council and executive by-elections in the state, and resolved as follows. Number 1, in the communique, congratulatory message to the governor. The board heartily congratulated the executive governor of the Anambra State, His Excellency Professor Charles Chukwu Masuludo, CFR, and the deputy governor, His Excellency Dr. Onyeka Chukwu Ibezim, on their re-election victory. The board expressed a profound appreciation for their total support and encouragement, as well as the commitment towards the growth of football in Anambra State. The executive committee discussed the expiration of the tenure of the local football councils and the 4 unified positions of members of the board, and resolved to immediately hold elections as directed by the Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF. Number 3, on the communique, formation of an electoral and appeals committee. The board unanimously affirmed the appointment of members of the Electoral and Appeals Committee for the conduct of the elections into the local football councils to fill the vacant positions in the state FA board. For the electoral committee members, will have 5-member board, and the chairman of the electoral committee is Barrister Uche Okeke. He is to serve as the chairman. Others are Barrister Obi Ebosie, member; Barrister Chidozie Obuefi, member; Honorable Francis Abata, member; and Honorable Lawrence Nwekwe as a member. For the appeals committee members, it will be chaired by Barrister Ugochukwu Adileje as the chairman of the appeals committee. We'll have Mr. Chiadi Obide as member, and Barrister Cyril Ezimaka as a member. Number 4, on the communique, approval of election dates. The board approved the 17th and 18th December 2025 as the official dates for the elections to fill the existing vacancies in the State Football Association board and the local football councils. Number 5, the board praised the efforts of the chairman for his sponsorship drive, especially for the Anambra State Football League, which are returned after so many years, of which the season's finale comes up on Sunday, 7th December 2025 at the Nero Stadium, Nanka. Number 6, a vote of confidence. The board unanimously passed a vote of confidence on the leadership of the Anambra State Football Association, ably led by Chief Chikelo Ilenyose, commending his dedication and effort towards repositioning football in the state. In the attendance, Chief Chikelo Ilenyose was also part of the meeting alongside Chief Victor Anyekwane, Vice Chairman, Mrs. Cordelia Akanna, member; Mr. Raf Chidozie George, member; and Mr. Raphael Nweke as the acting secretary. And of course, you know that the communique drafting committee was Mr. Raf Chidozie George as the chairman, while the acting secretary of the ANSFA, Mr. Raf Nweke was as the secretary of the communique drafting committee. So, but the main news there is that the elections into the LFC and by-elections for the ANSFA board has now been slated for the 17th and the 18th of December 2025, and we'll follow up on the news story and keep you updated as regards what's happening at the Glass House of Football in Anambra State, which is the Anambra State Football Association under the leadership of Chief Chikelo Ilenyose. Moving away from that, now let's talk about our second story on the show. Our second story on the show is about Anambra own club. It plays in the second tier of Nigerian club football, fondly known as the most important league, and we are talking about the Nigerian National League. Let's tell you that Anambra State Club, Solution FC, will on Saturday, the 6th of December 2025, square up against First Bank FC in one of the match day 4 fixtures of the ongoing 2025-2026 Nigeria National League. The match will be played by 3 p.m. at the Awka City Stadium, Anambra State. Solution FC will be looking at using the match to bounce back from the Oriental Derby loss last weekend against Abakaliki FC, played at the Ngele Oruta Township Stadium, Abakaliki, and that's in Ebonyi State. Solution FC have thus far secured 3 points from 3 matches this season, having defeated Osun United 1-0, and that was a fortnight ago in match day 2, and they'll be ready to go to bounce back again and see if they can get another all-important win, a must-win against First Bank FC when they play them this Saturday. That's tomorrow at the Awka City Stadium. So ensure that you'll be there tomorrow to support the Solution boys when they take on First Bank FC, and that's a match day 4 of the Nigeria National League, the NNL. Next up, let's tell you that the Super Eagles look set to jettison a plan to set up a training camp in Cairo to prepare for the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco later this month. According to report, a proposed warm-up game against Egypt fixed for December 14 will no longer be possible because overseas clubs do not have to release players before then. It's most likely the match against Egypt is off, and if that is the case, there will be no point in camping in Egypt. A source informed the media the best option would have been for the players to head straight to Morocco, he stated. According to the NFF, the Super Eagles will open camp in Egypt, and that's coming up on December 10th, and Nigeria opened their 2025 AFCON campaign, and that's coming up on December 23rd against Tanzania. Tunisia and Uganda are the other teams in Group C with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and the AFCON is set to start and it is expected to commence on December 21st and wind off with the grand finale we'll be holding next year. That's January 17, and Morocco is the host nation, and the Super Eagles are preparing for this one. Still on the Super Eagles news, the Nigeria Football Federation, the NFF, of course, are ensuring that there is no stones is left untouched in the preparation of the Super Eagles for the AFCON, and they have confirmed that the Super Eagles training camp for the upcoming 35th African Cup of Nations finals in Morocco will open in Cairo, Egypt on Wednesday, December 10th. This match was reviewed, and that was 2 days ago, just as coach Eric Sekochea named captain William Truss Ekong, ace forward Victor Osimhen, midfielder Wilfred Ndidi, and goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali in a provisional list of 55 players for the upcoming prestigious continental showpiece. And of course, goalkeeper Maduka Okoye, defender Zaidu Sanusi, Calvin Bassi, and Semi Ajayi, as well as midfielders Frank Onyeka, Alex Iwobi, Raphael Onyedika, and forwards Ademola Lukman, Samuel Chukwueze, Simon Moses, and Chidera Ejuke are also listed. And the list also has Nigeria Premier Football League stars Abdul Rashid Shehu, Ebenezer Harcourt, Ekesin Okorie, Chisom Oji, and Adekunle Adeleke. According to the Nigeria Football Federation, a final list of 28 players will be drawn from the provisional list in a matter of days. This continent is expected to. The contingent is expected to arrive at their training camp in Egypt on the 10th of December and will play a couple of friendly matches before the tournament begins on Sunday, the 21st of December. Nigeria is in Group C of the tournament alongside Tanzania, Tunisia, and Uganda. Now, let's just give you the full bouquet of the 54 players squad for the provisional list made possible by or made open to the public by Eritrea. For goalkeepers, we'll have Stanley Nwabale of Chipa United. We'll have Amasa Obosogie of Singida Black Stars. We'll have Maduko Koy of Udinese in Italy. Adebayo Adeleye of Volus FC. Francis Uzo of Omonia FC out there, and Ebenezer Harcourt of Sporting Lagos. For defenders, we'll have William Trusekong of Alkaloid. We'll have Oluwa Aina of Nottingham Forest in England. Calvin Bassi of Fulham in England. Oluwa Semilogo Ajayi of Hull City in England. Bright Osai Samuel of Birmingham City in England. Bruno Onyemechi of Olympiacos of Greece. Chidozie Awasdiem of Nantes in France. I will have Zaidu Sanusi of Porto in Portugal. Igor Obu of Slavia Prague in Slavia Prague. And then we'll have Felix Ago of Bremen in Germany. We also have Ryan Alebiosu of Blackburn Rovers in England. And last but not the least, for the defenders invited, we'll have Adekunle Adeleke of Abia Warriors. For midfielders, we'll have Alex Iwobi of Fulham, Frank Onyek of Brentford, Al Hassan Yusuf Abdullahi of New England Revolution. We'll have Wilfred Ndidi of Besiktas in Turkey, Rafael Onyedik of Club Brugge in Belgium. We'll have Chrysanthus Uche of Crystal Palace in England, Tochukwu Nnadi of Zolta Varegem. We'll have Fisayo Dele Bashiru of Lazio in Italy, Ebenezer Akin Samiro of Pisa in Italy, Usman Mohammed of Ironi Tbilisi, Peter Alba of Maccabi Haifa in Israel, and Tom Dele Bashiru of Genka Biligi in Turkey. For forwards, I will have Demola Lukman of Atalanta in Italy, Samuel Chukwueze of Fulham in England, Victor Osimhen of Galatasaray in Turkey, Simon Moses of Paris FC in France. We'll have Chidera Ejuke of Sevilla in Spain, Tolu Rokodare of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Others are Ako Adams of Sevilla, Olakunle Olusegun of Paris, Novgorod out there in Russia. We'll have Sadiq Umar of Real Sociedad, Kelechi Iheanacho of Celtic in Scotland, Taiwo Awoni of Nottingham Forest, Victor Boniface of Bremen, that's Werder Bremen. We have Paul Onuachu of Trabzonspor, Terem Murphy of Nice in France, Nathan Teller of Bayer Leverkusen in Germany, Cyril Desas of Panathinaikos in Greece. We have Abdul Rashid Shehu of Niger Tornadoes in the Nigeria Premier Football League, Rafiu Durosimi of Victoria Pleasant. We have Ekesin Okorie of Nasarawa United. Others are Chisom Oji of Wari Wolves, Chukwubikem Ikwemesi of OH Leuven in Belgium, Philippe Otele of FC Basel in FC Basel of Switzerland. Will have Salim Fagolawal of NK Istra, and Emmanuel Michael of Linza Athletic out there. Those are the players that were invited for the Super Eagles as they get set to prepare for the 35th AFCON to be hosted by Morocco from the 21st of December down to the 7th of January, when we'll be having the grand finale of the AFCON. Now to the African scene. Let's tell you that Andre Onana has been left out of a Cameroon squad for the upcoming African Cup of Nations, with the team in chaos after head coach Mark Brees was sacked amid allegations of subterfuge. We hear days after being re-elected as Cameroon Football Federation President. Samuel Eto'o and his executive committee announced Brees' dismissal in a dramatic statement. It featured a long list of accusations of professional failure leveled against Brees, including inciting players to defy Fecafoot, the Belgian appointed by Cameroon's sports ministry in April 2024. A decision Eto'o immediately tried to revert. Is also accused of active collaboration with unknown individuals within Fecafoot. He is also accused of failing to attend meetings, refusing to disclose his training programs, jeopardizing relationship with sponsors, not releasing his squad selections on time, and using subterfuge to evade his professional obligation to hold press conferences. Brees is replaced by one of his assistants, David Apago, an experienced Cameroonian coach who has managed several teams in the country's top tier. We hear but Pago's 28-man squad for the upcoming AFCON in Morocco, which begins on the 21st of December, is missing several key names we hear, they include a goalkeeper Onana, team captain Vincent Abubakar, Napoli midfielder Andre Frank Zambo, Aguisa, and defender Michael Ngado will hear owing to that changes of recent. And those are the things that are happening right now in Cameroon football as they prepare for the African Nations Cup. You know, Samuel Eto'o was re-elected, and he was instrumental in ensuring that she could breathe contracts and with the Fecafoot is severed. And still on the African scene, according to reports in Premier League media, clubs in Saudi Arabia, Saudi Pro League are said to be interested in the signature of Liverpool talisman and Egyptian international Mohamed Salah. Once more, we hear the Egyptian has been heavily linked with a move to Saudi Pro League during the last couple of seasons. However, Salah pledged his allegiance with the club by signing a new 2-year deal, and that was in April this year. And prior to his penning a new deal, Salah and Liverpool reportedly rejected a mega money deal from a Saudi Pro League outfit en route to the Reds are claiming the Premier League title last season. And now, though, according to reports, we hear Al Hilal and Al Qadsiya are keen on landing the 33-year-olds and services, with the latter believed to be the most interested in the speedy winger. As it stands, Salah has 1 year left on his current deal, which will be a crucial aspect in Liverpool's decision regarding his future, especially after he made a slow start to the 2025-2026 season. Mo Salah has made 420 appearances for Liverpool throughout his career, scoring 250 goals while adding 116 assists along the way. And if you ask me, that's a prolific striker. And right now, is he going to stay in Liverpool, stay at Anfield for the foreseeable future? Time will tell, but just 1 year remaining of his contract out there. Let's watch out and see what comes off of that man who plays out at the Elwood training ground, if he will be staying or if he will be moving, especially with a coach. The coach of the team seems to be having some issues right now in terms of the club's performance, both in the continent and domestic-wise. We'll be watching out for that, and then we'll keep you posted as regards what's happening with Mo Salah's contract. And now, still on the African scene, FIFA's Bureau of the Council has announced a change to the mandatory release data for players participating in the African Cup of Nations at the AFCON, reading that clubs may keep their players for a further week. We hear the change that was announced by the Global Football Governing Body, and that was on Wednesday. Originally, clubs were set to release their AFCON participating players on Monday, the 8th of December, but that date has now been pushed back by 7 days to Monday, the 15th of December. The organization stated that it had breached an agreement with the Confederation of African Football, CAF, to change the release of players and making it in line with release of players for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. And following fruitful consultations led by FIFA with key stakeholders, and thanks to the spirit of solidarity demonstrated by CAF to reduce the impact of various parties, the Bureau of the Council has taken a decision in relation to the mandatory release of players for the CAF African Cup of Nations 2025, which will take place in Morocco from the 21st of December to the 18th of January 2026. The statement reads, in line with the same principle used for the FIFA World Cup 2022, the release period will be reduced by 7 days and start on Monday, the 15th of December 2025. The statement also revealed that it has encouraged member associations participating at AFCON to hold bilateral discussions with clubs holding their players in good faith to find appropriate individual solutions. The news comes as a welcome relief for many European clubs who are set to lose their key players to the continental showpiece. Sunderland in the English Premier League are set to hold on to their 7 African players, including Democratic Republic of Congo midfielder Noah Sadiki and Morocco winger Chemsidi Taobi, who have both featured in every Premier League game for the Black Cats this season. This is also on the other side of the coin. African national teams' preparations could be heavily affected. We hear Angola, for example, are set to host the pre-tournament camp in Portugal from the 8th to the 18th of December and have warm-up fixtures scheduled against DR Congo on the 13th of December and Mozambique on the 18th of December. And goalkeeper Dominic Geza, all except 2 defenders, every midfielder, and all except 3 forwards in the Nations Final AFCON squad ply their trade in Europe and are only obliged to be released by their respective clubs 6 days before they start off at the competition. This could cause the Black Sebos Antelopes to abandon their pre-tournament camp in Portugal, heavily hampering their preparations for the continental showpiece, and this is not good for African teams as they get set to prepare for the African Nations Cup. Initially, clubs were given the mandate to release their players at least 2 weeks before the commencement of the AFCON, but with this now, they just have 1 week to release their players. And of course, most nations are not happy with this latest development, but that's the changes that comes with football. You're watching Sports Splash on ABS TV. Let's go for a short break. When we'll come back, we've got news on Duplantis. We'll also be telling you about Serena Williams, and then we'll tell you what's happening in the Premier League in England, and that's on the flip side of our Sports Splash. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. It is still Sports Splash on ABS TV, and you're watching the Friday edition of the show. My name is Ike Nwokedi. In the first half, we told you that the Anambra State Football Association is set to hold their LFC, that's Local Football Council election, on the 17th, while the by-election for the ANSFA board is expected to hold on the 18th. We told you earlier on. We also told you that Solution Football Club of Anambra State is set to take on First Bank FC. That's tomorrow at the Oka City Stadium. That match is expected to start by 3 p.m. and it is and the Nigerian National League, the match day 4 program. We equally told you that the Super Eagles are preparing for the AFCON, and Eric Chair has named a 55-man provisional squad for that one, which is expected to commence on the 12th of on the 21st of December. We are close by to that one. And then we equally told you how Breeze has been, his contract as the coach of the Cameroonian national team, the Indomitable Lions, has been severed by the Feka football Samuel Eto'o. And also, we equally informed you that Onana has been left out of the Cameroon AFCON squad for the Nations Cup. We also told you that the Saudi Arabian clubs have reignited their interest in the signature of Mo Salah and drawing him from Liverpool, but time will tell if you move. And we equally told you that FIFA has changed AFCON players' release date for just 2 weeks to the time of the tournament to just a week, with most national teams not happy about that development. And now to international scene, let's check out what's happening in track and field. World record holder Amanda Duplantis has confirmed he will return to the London Stadium for the first time in 8 years when he competes at the London Diamond League coming up in the month of July. The Swiss, a two-time Olympic gold medalist in the pole vault event, has won multiple titles at world and European level, and Duplantis, 26 years of age, has broken the pole vault world record 14 times since 2020, most recently setting a best time of 6.30 meters at the World Athletics Championship in Tokyo. He first appeared at the London Stadium in 2017 when he finished 9th at the World Athletics Championship at the age of 17. A year later, he finished 3rd at the anniversary games behind USA's Sam Kendricks and Francis Renaud Levinellier. And Duplantis will aim to beat the meeting record of 6.03 meters, which has stood since 2015 and was set by La Villenia of France. The one-day tournament, which includes 15 events across track and field, will be holding in the capital, and that's coming up on the 18th of July 2026. And now to the world of tennis. Let's tell you that Anastasia Potapova has switched her nationality from Russia to Austria after her application for the citizenship was accepted. Russia has been banned from competing in team competition since the invasion of Ukraine, prohibiting Potapova from playing in the Billie Jean King Cup, and the 24-year-old who represented Russia in that tournament in 2018 and 2019 will be eligible to play for Austria next year. I am delighted to let you all know that my application for citizenship has been accepted by the Austrian government. Potapova wrote on Instagram. Austria is a place I love, is incredibly welcoming, and a place where I feel totally at home. I love being in Vienna and look forward to making my second home there. As part of this, I am proud to announce that starting from 2026, I will be representing my new homeland, Austria, in my professional tennis career from this point onwards. Once the switch takes place, Potapova, ranked world number 51, will become the new Austrian number 1, replacing Julia Gabia, who sits at 94 in the rankings. In March 2022, Potapova said that Russian athletes were hostages of the current situation in reference to the war after Ukrainian opponent Elena Vitolina threatened to boycott their match at the Monterrey Open. And Potapova, who has not played since the China Open in October because of injury, is the latest in a growing line of Russians to switch allegiance and represent a different country. Earlier this year, Daria Katsakina announced that Australia had accepted her application for permanent residency. Doubles player Natalia Zlamidze changed to Georgia to ensure she could compete at Wimbledon when Russian athletes were banned, and that was in 2022. And still talking about tennis, Serena Williams is in the news. Let's tell you that Serena Williams has filed the necessary paperwork for a return to tennis, but then said that she is not coming back to the sport. The American great who won 23 Grand Slam singles titles retired after the 2022 US Open, and the International Tennis Integrity Agency has confirmed to the media that Williams, 44 years of age, is back on the list of players registered for the drug testing poll. Her name also appeared on the most recent document published by the organization, and that was on the 6th of October, just hours after a match that she had re-entered the sports registered drug testing poll. Williams posted on social media, "I'm not coming back. This wildfire is crazy," she said, while Williams would ask for her name to be added without any intention of playing again remains a mystery, because joining the list invites a visit from a doping officials. Every active player is subject to out of competition testing, but those in the testing pool, which is largely comprised of the top 100 singles, doubles, and wheelchair players, as well as returning athletes, must let the testers know where they will be for 1 hour of every single day. Williams was never a fan of the world retirement, preferring instead to say she was evolving away from the sports in 2022. Bill Clinton, Billie Jean King, John King, Tiger Woods, Mike Tyson were among the crowd in New York 3 years ago as Williams won her first 2 singles matches at her final US Open. Her career was eventually brought to an end by Australia's Alia Tomljanovic in the 3rd round, but only after Williams has served 5 match points in an electric night session at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Every retired player must make themselves available for out-of-competition testing for 6 months before they are eligible to compete professionally again, we hear. And that's for Serena Williams, and she's saying she may not come back despite enlisting her name for the recent upcoming event. Now let's go to the world of basketball. In the world of basketball, the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Detroit Pistons by 113 to 109, despite losing the NBA's 2-time most valuable player Giannis Antetokounmpo to injury early in the match. Antetokounmpo, 30 years of age, fell to the floor in the 3rd minute and had to be helped off court by the teammates. The Bucks trailed by 18 points in the first quarter, but fought back at Milwaukee Visa Forum to claim just their second win, and that's in about 10 matches. And Kevin Porter Jr. registered at 26 points for the Bucks with Ryan Rollins adding 22, and AJ Green scoring 11 of his 19 in the fourth quarter to fuel the comeback. Detroit remain top of the Eastern Conference. That's Detroit Pistons. They remain top of the Eastern Conference after their fifth loss of the season, with Milwaukee sitting 10th. The Bucks initially thought Antetokounmpo has strained his right calf, but are awaiting confirmation after the Greek power forward had an MRI scan. Before the match, rumors had emerged via a section of the media that Giannis Antetokounmpo was mulling his future with the franchise, but as a reporter said, there had been no conversation about a possible trade. Elsewhere, let's tell you that James Harden and Kawhi Leonard combined for 48 points to help the Los Angeles Clippers end a 5-game losing streak with a 115-92 win against the Atlanta Hawks. Jamal Murray scored a season-high 53 points as the Denver Nuggets defeated the Indiana Pacers by 135-120, and that was in Indiana. And that's for the basketball. And on Monday's version of Sports Splash, we'll tell you more what's happening in the basketball. And just before we go, some football news. Let's tell you that FIFA is set to press ahead with plans to have video assistant referee checks on the awarding of corner kick at the 2026 World Cup, despite domestic leagues are rejecting the idea of the wider game. At an October meeting of the International Football Association Board, that's talking about IFAB, they are the body responsible for making the rules in football, which determines the laws of the game. There was agreement that the video assistant referee could be expanded to cover incorrectly shown second yellow cards that lead to a red card. But FIFA's proposal to review corners was rejected, meaning World Football's governing body will need to effectively create a trial to use it in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, and that's coming up next summer. And the measures will be discussed further at the next IFAB meeting in January. But FIFA has regularly applied trials to its competition, and we'll hear that automated offside technology and referees announcing VAR decisions to the crowd are two examples, and they could use the same mechanism to start reviewing corner kicks. We hear Pierluigi Collina, FIFA's head of referees, has been a supporter of the change as part of the wider review of the VAR protocol, and Collina is open to going further to believing that any error that can quickly be identified by the VAR could potentially be communicated. The former referee has highlighted an incident in the Euro 2016 final when Portugal were wrongly awarded a free kick in extra time for handball on the edge of the area that almost led to a goal in that match. And that's why a lot of reviews are going on, and VAR is part of it. But IFAB will be looking at it in January when they sit again to look at the loss of the game and have a review for the loss of the game. That's the size of the show this morning, Sports Splash, the Friday edition. Thank you for being part of it, and we'll be back next week, Monday to be precise, for another episode. My name is Ike Nwoked. Have a lovely weekend, and remember to keep sporting. Bye-bye now.